Hey everybody, I was just going over everything and I wanted to show everything before release. Inside the document viewer, you can pull up all the PDFs, texts that are in your documentation folder. So if you ever get a reference from the AI and want to verify things, you can go back and look at it. I have included the YouTube player and the Fediverse player. Everything's built in. This is a fresh build where there was no memories. The knowledge base is empty. It's all set up for everybody. Code server, everything works. Here, I got some stuff I can show. So you can get your stuff from here, and as shown, the build total for this was 132.87 gigabytes. I had to add a couple things and rearranged it. We're on Python 3.13, CUDA 13.2, and as you can see here, I'm on an 8 gigabyte VRAM. I'm on a 200,000 context window, and as you've seen, I've really had I get a little bit of lag, but not a whole lot, and it gets faster as it goes. In here, again, you can, let me find some files to throw in here real quick. Everything can be edited and looked through. Just right click on anything and edit in Notepad, and you can view everything. Let me get a simple one that doesn't have any dependencies. Okay, so I'm going to put this on HTML. I know you can't see all the, whenever I click these things, that's why I was doing them on my phone, a couple of them. But this will auto render, so that's HTML, and it'll just show the HTML as you make it work. This is a snap thing I'm working on. I don't know if I'm going to keep this. It's where you just snap it and it'll go down. If you double click on it, it'll go back to center. So everything is in this. I think this is a little weird because I'm not seeing the top of this. I think I may have to lower this. Oh, it's over here. So yeah, everything's functional. And then your 3JS editor down here in the corner. And then if I ever wanted to try something different over here, like I can move this over to Python. And let me get a Python script. And we can run it. This was a banking educational script. And as you see, it went through. Okay. That was the message sent. And then it gave back 3 received, it rejected, and detected anything that was messed with. So it supports 90 coding languages. Depending on what's installed in your system is what you can use. Tools loader. This will, all right, so these have some of my tools that I've passed out before. What it will do, and it'll show up over here, it'll take any tool file you throw in here, um, and then it'll divide it on the side into separate tabs. So you can, if you don't want it to ever delete lines, you can over here just unclick it, and it can't use that part of the tool. So you can customize, or you don't have to replace the whole file. You just need to go over here and decide which parts you don't want it using. Your tools user interface has all the tools available that are shown. Um, they're all interactive and functional. So you can kind of mess around with that. And there's different examples. A lot of these are the built 3JS examples that are shown. And then I have some custom ones in here. Let me close this. All of these. Oh, I wonder if this is because I'm recording that it won't let it do it. Well, I'll come back to that one. Usually that one works fine. I think it's because I actually have a microphone on and am talking this time. Um, it comes with all tools. I'll do a demonstration. Now these resistors are opposite. That's kind of where I'll show you why. And this is meant to be a teaching tool, so when I do that, this light comes on, it shows me good. Now, if I come over here and add that same red to here, what I'm going to get is this. Now the first one's still going, but it's going to tell me that if I connect that last wire, both are going to short. And that's what happens. So it's a teaching tool. So you have all your little different things up here. You can kind of work around and mess with stuff. Basic things like card games and stuff like that you can use. Um, let's see, and then you have your simulations. These use I try to keep it to real physics. Um, and this shows differential patterns and uh, diffusion patterns and all that. So it's just a visual representation of things, and it uses the real math to kind of simulate what's happening. This will show you animations and which animations each thing has. You can load kind of any of your GLB files from the GLB folder up here. This came from data I found online. It's an actual real data from a real simulation, all your readouts and the simulation for it. And you can adjust everything as you would like. You have an image viewer. Molecule builder has smiles and pubchem, so You can search both and it'll load from online databases. If you're online, it'll give you kind of information you might need, some more kind of graphics. Here is a projectile launcher. You can change all your variables, see all your readouts in real time. I tried to keep everything as empirical math as possible. I tried to avoid making assumptions. This uses, I think, Newtonian gravity on this one, but it's a full solar system simulation that if you're using my build and all my files, then you should have everything kind of there. So I'm going to speed this up. What you'll notice is nothing's ever like kind of a perfect circle around the sun. It's all kind of off-centered. If I pause so I can look, you can go to each planet. As you can see, it's detailed planets. There's our moon over there. And I can do this for each planet. Let's go to Mars. And there's, that's its line. Then you have 1 and 2 of its moons, with one of them being weird shaped. I think that's Deimos. Nope, it's the other one. It's like a little rock. And you can go to each of the things. Jupiter has its graphics. Same as Saturn. You can scroll in, zoom in, move around, do whatever you want to do on that to simulate. You have the same graphing suite from before. You can change your variables. You have basic formulas, and area under the curves is calculated, and a couple of other things are calculated for you. Same with the 3D graph. Your basic formulas, some stuff, and how to do that. You have a vector field one, same things down here. A toroidal field where you can change all your stuff and you see all your outputs down here. This is just a simulator to simulate magnetic forces and how it affects the fields around you. And then you get into more waves. I set it on low resolution to kind of not overdo people's stuff. Same with audio waves. Your basic outputs are here. Everything is kind of movable. Your other kind of, these are just little fun things that you can incorporate into stuff. These are some more 3JS examples. One of animation. Your controls are up here where you can kind of pause, move each thing. Then there's a couple scenes. This is where it was a comparison with Newton and something else I was working on, and still am. This is an ongoing thing. And it shows differentials and if they diverge, different ways of simulating molecules. This is a 3JS example one. Tetris, trigonometry. If you don't want to run the numbers, you can get it all the way out. You have all your variables and options that you can go through as you wish. Some more 3JS examples. This was a game I was having my AI build. And just so you guys realize, I have 8 gigabytes VRAM, 32 gigabytes RAM. This is a store-bought Dell computer. That was how I was supposed to be designing it. This is a 30B model. I'm using a 200K context window. It does support up to 1,000,000. So it's kind of up to the user how much that all your side panels are droppable. But this was an example of a first-person shooter game. And everything's really laggy. I'm recording, I'm doing everything at the same time, so normally I don't have all this much stuff going on, so it doesn't do all this. I've tried to keep it as grounded as possible in this. But this is just one example, and you can go explore the city or do whatever. But if you added NPCs or a way to connect with other players, you have a game. You can change the skin, change the characters, but I mean, all you would need to do is that you don't really need to reprogram the whole thing. It's all there. And again, you guys get all the codes with this, so you guys can do whatever you want with it. And then these last two is a Fediverse viewer, which was I was showing in chat, and the YouTube viewer. YouTube videos won't work on this one, and I'm not sure if what will work on the YouTube one. And then again, the documentation viewer, which you can get in line 2, and that gives you your whatever documents you loaded in. And then let's see, I don't know if that'll show up. Oh, they do. And then your basic information for each of the Python libraries that's installed. So that's all there. Let's see what else. You got a regular file explorer that'll match that. Blender, I inlined it. You do have to open a 3001 just so you can use it at localhost. But once you do that, you can use it here. I'm actually online right now for this demonstration for the YouTube videos and everything. Then you have searching, which you can change all your preferences however you like. I inline that so you don't have to search for it. This is something for one of my projects that I'm still working on that I was talking about. And this does Einstein tensors. The left side is textbook empirical stuff, same down here. The right side is another thing, a paper I'm working on that's separate from all of this stuff. But all this is running in real time. So like these are all changing in real time. So this is an active kind of thing going on, and this is based on our solar system. And it does Einstein tensors, Urisi tensors, all of them. Christoffel walks it through, gives you each of the variables for each, etc., etc. This quantum secure comms, I fixed this, so you should get a message down here when this is done. I forgot to put the banking script next to it, so it loads some of it from that, so you should always have these readies. For this, it needs 2 different 64 length hacks, which you can generate here. It will not send these. It only sends, I'll show you the last part. And then you need 128. So it takes 264 hexes and 128 hex, which you can pass to your friends or whatever, and you can all share your own private messages. You put in a plain text message, and it has to be decrypted within 24 hours, or the system will lock it out. It won't decrypt after 24 hours. So, all right, hello, this is an example. And when I encrypt, what you'll get down here is the encrypted message. Get your IP, you can look it up right here, or get the receiver's IP, and it will encrypt it using post-quantum secure banking kind of standards. So, and the only thing that's sent is this, and nobody can decrypt it without these keys, plus it's going to need to be decrypted within 24 hours. So even if they intercepted your message, that is all they're going to see. And the code and everything's online, so you can look at it. There's, for people to actually try to crack that, good luck. And then you do have your security monitor here. This will tell you maybe your recent events. I think in my last video I had been doing something, and I actually was doing the fresh build, so I had attached a Fastly or something for download and GitHub, so they were showing up here. It will not just give you an IP address of somebody that tries to connect to your device. It will give you actual information for them. So you know exactly kind of what's happening. There, you can also set this to auto block if people start scanning your ports and doing that. I'm not going to show the allow list. Config, you have honeypot ports, so if any of these are scanned, here you can make this true. So if somebody scans 3 of these ports, they get automatically banned. You can generate a report, and you can always check what's happening. So this is all built in. This is all going. There are instructions for how to launch everything. It's a pre-launch, which is something you double click, and then you open up Blender, and then you open up this, and everything's in line. You don't need to do any of that. You'll just see these lights go off, and like this screen will be blank if you don't do the pre-launch. Same with this one, and this one, and Blender. Everything else will work fine. It's just those 4 will be out. All these will still be functional. Now, to add to this, I made a video about how to customize all this. You can change kind of the whole layout. You can change, you can add tools, remove tools, change the tabs, add tabs. Your tools, like I said, you decide which ones you want. You can take stuff out. I put in a basic system prompt so it knows how to navigate and use the tools right out of the box, and this will work with any Olama model. I use my 2 personal ones. Then there is, you can download any from Olama and just load them over there. So even mine, straight out the box, was able to use it and mess with it. There is a memory file, or you can do it manually, so you can add memories through the file. And same with knowledge. If you want to add your knowledges, you can just drop all the stuff in the folders instead of actually going through all this. This will always show you everything that's happening in those things over there, so you can kind of see. This is that where I got system informations, and then this one was, I don't remember what this one was, but this was the banking one, and that is where the banking logs folder keeps showing up. It's because when I run this script, it saves a log to that. And pretty much that's just to demonstrate it's an educational script. It actually doesn't connect, send anything. It's totally offline. It's for educational purposes. I implemented it in this security. So encrypting is kind of its own thing, and then this is a separate thing. So when you send, it has nothing to do with all that other stuff. So even if they got the message, unless they go through the other stuff, they won't be able to decrypt it. And based on how this works, I doubt they'll be able to intercept it. As it shows, I have 71 different tools. In the 6 files, I also added the media tool, which allows the AI to do direct video and images into the chat. List images, list videos, load image, load video. So it can do that too for you inline. So whenever your AI references anything in your knowledge base, you can actually kind of come over here and go into your knowledge and kind of look through it. These are all empty right now because this is a fresh build. That this is what you get out of the box, all of this. So how you do it, set it up, how you mess with it, that's going to be up to you. You can change all the stuff, your little prompts here. If you do prompt it to say, look at my screen, it will take a screenshot of your screen and send it to the AI. That's why I have a vision model. This is for coding, for doing a web search, doing memory, or knowledge-based retrieval. I usually use this offline. I'm taking it off now, but if you can use this online or offline, I just went offline, and I mean, everything still works. Nothing is needed online except a couple functionalities, which would be like I can't search anymore. I shouldn't be able to. Let me try that again. That might have been because I've done that already. Yeah, and I could not. Failed to fetch. I think that was because it was already in memory. So that's one thing that would be limited. You can still use all the other functionality of it, but you just can't load from outside databases. Same with searching. You're not going to be able to search if you're offline, but again, it doesn't matter. And the AI has access to use this. I just put it inline so you can change your settings without searching for stuff. Same with Blender. Your AI has access to this, and it has access to KiCad for PCB design and those kinds of things. I don't even know if I have any videos loaded to test. Let me check real quick, and because I don't think I've actually checked the inline video. What's that tool name? List, no. Load video. I always use the actual name of the tool just because until my AI learns it, or I replace this, the basic system prompt, I don't rely on it. Let me see what was the name of that video. Good time to any. Sink or swim. I've never actually tried this, so we'll find out. I guess I should have tested that. I tested the image one. I never did the video one. This should be interesting. This might fail, actually. I should test this before, but I got the YouTube and the Fediverse ones working. I got the image viewer and the document viewer. I never thought to actually look at this one. And this will be for... Oh. Maybe it is. I don't think it's actually going to work though, but that actually kind of... Oh wait, it did load. Huh. Alright, so that does work too. And it plays. I didn't know if that would actually work or not. So happy surprise, that works too. So the image viewer I demonstrated in another video, I've never demonstrated this. I didn't even know. I've never tested it, but it all works. But this is what you get out of the box. You can load whatever you want to your folders and files, anything you download, just throw in them. Treat it as a disposable thing. I've gotten the total zip folder that I give under 9 gigabytes. You do get kind of all those Python libraries installed down here. These are all pre-installed or come with in my version, so you can go through this and actually take these out. Because if you don't use quantum computing, well, actually, you're going to need to keep QQuantum for the security. That's actually built in. Same for a couple others, so I would leave those. But a lot of these are duplicates or kind of unnecessary. Everybody has their own kind of preferences. So I put multiples of each kind of thing, from design to coding to like PyCrack, then there's QQuantum and QTip and all these other ones. So each is a different kind. Then you have Qiskit and the rest of them, QTip. QPulse is for photonic computing simulations. And then you have multiple 3D libraries and many other kinds of stuff. I don't know what everybody wants. Now this is a direct system. So everything in the A drive, Docker puts it on its own kind of Linux partition. That's how that works. So it's isolated from Windows. So when you build this, the AI, since the AI is that Docker folder is connected directly to your AI folder on C drive, that is the only thing it ever has access to. That is the only thing you ever have to replace. So me personally, I have my AI folder, and then I copy it again right next to it, and I just put AI backup. So I make sure any of my stuff that I put in one, I put in the other. So if the AI ever messes up one, I can throw that folder away, put the next one over, Docker down, Docker up, and it's right back to what it was with all my original files, all my stuff. Having that backup of my stuff right next to it always means that's how simple fixing an AI's mistake is. So it has root access, Docker commands, so it can interact with like Blender searching. It can interact with KiCad for electrical PCB design. So all these things any AI can do. And as I showed up here, my system is basic. I literally did this for this purpose, and all my videos, everything I've been demonstrating is on a $1,000 Dell. It has a good CPU, it has 20 cores. I actually put in an extra hard drive. I usually work off my D drive, and I have a lot of files in my actual thing. Like this one's empty. There's no memory. This has zero files. I've shown one where I've made one. Oh, there are some files in empirical data, which is the Antarctic mass and primes. So as you see, stuff gets loaded automatically from those folders. And it can reference anything in your knowledge base. This is all internal and kind of in those files. And as shown, I have 8 gigabyte VRAM. I'm on a NVIDIA RTX 4060 Ti, Python 3.13, CUDA 13.2, all these libraries. So this is not some special rig. This has nothing to do, and you see how fast this thing, can mess around with it. 30 billion parameter, 200,000 context window, and it's not kind of slowed by any of this. So if I said and I mean I have a bunch of windows open, everything's going all at the same time on this Dell, and as you can see, it minimizes the tokens. It used 8,000 tokens for this. There's your latency. And for some of these, I get really long answers and really good detailed answers. So it depends on which tool I'm using. Like, there's nothing for it to say really for the video. And see, this is the speeds I get. It has a long context window that I've never really truly needed the whole thing. So right now we're at 12,000 tokens for a video, and this, it'll go on to kind of get into describing it and explaining it. Your latency is usually average. Mine's really high right now because I'm recording and I have a microphone and audio, and I have all the simulations going. And then the AI is trying to work in the background. Plus, I have another video going up here. And now it's relooping. Anyway, as you can see, this is what you get out of the box. Everything's kind of set up for you. You just need to bring your own knowledge base, your own kind of stuff. I gave a include a generic kind of system prompt, RAG. You can edit it and kind of update it as you want. There is a GLB file folder. So the zip file folder is going to be about 8 point something gigabytes, around 9 gigabytes. There's 8.6 gigabytes of actual GLB files in there for creating games and examples, and there's a bunch of educational ones that I demonstrated in other videos that you can use for different purposes. So everybody kind of sees how this all works. I think he's mad at me because I just kind of told him to stop. And I interrupted him. But this is also an average, so it will change as you go along. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, he's not happy. But I'm going to end this here. This is kind of what you get, is what you see is what you get. And this is all kind of part of it. So I enjoy the feedback. So if you ever get in any of these videos, this is how you can communicate with me. If you ever use this and get some errors or anything, just kind of reach out in these videos and let me know, and I'll see what we can do to get it addressed. The The core files of this never really change. Where are they? And this is everything that's in that folder. Plus you'll get a couple more, like your Docker Compose and a README. But this is the setup. So you have in your UI, this is what it is. You have your Docker file, this needs to sit next to requirements. This is what gives you all your information for the libraries. Requirements is your Python library list. This is where all those Python libraries are listed. Whatever you don't want, you can take out. This is for the setup of the interface. Then your security files are in here. And that actually should have another file next to it. Let me check because oh, that's the security monitor. No, that's right. That's the security monitor. That's not the other thing. And then we have public. This is your index HTML. This is your JavaScripts. And this is for the latex stuff I just put in. JavaScripts are just your JS files. This and your index is literally everything for the interface. Moving forward is everything kind of past here. Besides security. Security was in that first one. So that is the whole UI. This and these JS. This is the KTeX. And then this is the tools. So when you get here, you have your GUT, which is this tab. You have your Quantum Comms, which is this tab. Your JavaScripts for these and your VS scripts for, this is where your coding suite, this is your tool interface. This is the output window here. This is the TSL editor, the 3JS editor, and the universal coding suite. JS is a tool main JS. The VS is the languages, and then the coder languages, which is all of these languages are supported, from Python and HTML to all the rest of them. So all your languages are supported. You can do it that way. Each one only has one file for its JavaScript. And then your min-maps editor is just more JavaScripts and your basic stuff for it. This is for this conversion, the textbook, and a paper I've been dealing with. Your quantum comms are in here, and you should have your quantum secure communication with direct send, and then your hybrid post quantum security. Both those need to be in there. I think in the version 2 I left this file out of this folder, and that's probably why, if anything, you're not getting kind of correct stuff. Then this is your literally all the tools go in here. So to add a tool, you just put it in here and edit your tool interface and make a card in there. That's it. Drop your HTML in here, and then down here is any of your JS files that you're going to need for any of them. Like mine has the ones for my cards and that. And then the GLB files are in here, and as you'll see, I think there's about 300 GLBs, different cities, different kind of stuff, different characters, different whatever. So you guys have a lot to kind of play with and mess around with. I put in some fun stuff and some very much just for educational stuff. So as you can see, everything is there. You can go in and right click and edit anything in Notepad. You can customize everything. You can build on top by just dropping in more tools in this folder and adding a card in the tool interface. I kind of went over that in other videos. And then when I close one of these, it will always ask me save to previous chats or discard without saving. So I don't ever have to worry about it. And I can always keep my chats just by saying save. So then I can keep my interface cleared. And I know my chats are always in documentation, and then previous chats, they now show up here. So everything's directly connected. The AI, everything's working off the same system, same libraries, same everything. So anything I can code in here, it can code over there and it'll work. Anything that I do in here, he can do, and he can load it in line. My visualization tools are this one, and these, as you can see, you get all the visual tools that you see, and you can inline all of them. Your search tool, your system interaction tool. This is a system check. That's how I get that information. It's a script that you can run. And then your surgical edit, so you can, it gets a numbered view of a file. So like you have a Python file, it'll number it, then it can actually take out certain lines and replace certain lines instead of redoing the whole file. I hate that. Instead, it can just do these with your files. It can also run files. So if you, all the Python scripts I got in there, you can ask it to run it and it'll analyze it and give you the results and go over everything. So as you see, everything's included, and then everything, whenever one of these goes offline, you'll know. Whenever one's not being used, you'll know. I can close, let's see, which one is that one? That screenshot. And that just took my screenshot off, but everything's still functional. And that's just because I closed the window that was handling the screenshots. And that is part of the pre-launch. 4 windows will open. Each will tell you, like it'll say one's for security, one is for the comms, one's for the conversion, and then one is for the screenshot saver. The rest of these are part of the Docker container you build when you run the Docker Compose. And as you can see, no matter what happens, whatever the AI does, you get a stream of it, so it can never hide it from you. It doesn't know you actually get the stream. Same with how I can monitor everything. As seen, I've used 50,000 tokens. My latency is a little higher now, and it keeps going up on average because of all the stuff I'm using. But anything you want to do with this, that's kind of the point. This is a non-commercial license, which means it can never be used for profit, which means you can use it for personal use, build on it, share it with things. You know there will be no commercial interest. There's nothing ever commercially injected. You can have full access to the code that you can customize yourself. And I've gone over other videos kind of showing that stuff. If you ever decide to, use this and build off this and share off this, just show what you changed and which version you're using. That way, anything you change in one, the core always stays the same. Since I have everything working as you've seen, and I'm not getting really any errors, everything's just kind of going through, doing its thing, I'm never going to change any of this stuff. I will build on top of it, like adding more tools, but again, that would just be adding an HTML, and as you've seen, I've added these since version 1, the FPS game, the 2 videos, and the document. And then I've also made those inline, so you can have your AI call them. So all of this, again, this is dependent about being online, but most of these are not. They all work even when I'm offline. So whether you're online or offline, everything's included, and that's kind of where, if you go back to your any images in here, the AI can inline. Also, you can tell your AI to save images there, so that whenever it makes an image for you, it can automatically kind of launch it for you, and you can see exactly what it made. Audio, your audio files should go there. And again, I think that I couldn't demonstrate that in this because I have microphone on. Before I end it, I'll go back to that, turn the microphone off, and see if that works. Again, I don't know if that'll work, so just bear with me. It worked fine in all my other videos, so it's something that I'm doing right now that's stopping it. Your audio goes here, your videos go here, your knowledge, whatever, PDFs or anything that you want, your knowledge base. And again, you can kind of change these, but that should go in your knowledge folder, wherever that went, up here. This is your memory folder, so any memory saved will be here. Your current chats will be here. Previous chats, that's where your previous chats are saved. So if you ever want your AI to reference your previous chats, that's where they can find them. Your security logs will be here. And these may be ongoing, so it's just not going to let me into this one. I don't remember how I set this up. Yeah, it's not going to show me those. Your system setup is your Docker, so your AI knows kind of, and it has access to these. It knows how it's set up. It can't really access the original one that you're actually using to build off of. Your verified scripts are anything you use in Coding Suite and you can run in Git without errors. You should add to this. Your AI can build off of it and use it. These are all quantum simulation kind of, or integrating quantum into like a Grover search or neural network or hybrid security. Kind of, they're all demonstrations and things you can build off of and use to learn. QTIP and QQuantum are just information on those two Python libraries. Your AI save folder is, I mark it for its personal own save folder, so anything it just wants to save, it can put in there on its own without me worrying about it. Notes, whatever. That way, if it overrides anything in its own files, I don't really care. Screenshots, anytime you ask it, you say, look at my screen, it'll take a screenshot, save it there, and send it to it, so you will always have a copy of it. And that's all those folders. Again, your basic, there's the UI folder, your UI settings, which will have your prompt and settings, which again, you can change how you want. Chroma is the data that we're going off of. And I don't really have anything loaded. This is all built in. I use the files in there. You guys can look. I use a couple different things, and it just makes it simple. Like I said, this whole thing is probably under 6,000 lines of code. That doesn't include kind of all the extras, but the main part of it is, where was I? And then this is what gets built when, there it is. This is your, all your different settings and all the stuff that gets downloaded and everything. That's your main kind of system folder. And the rest of these will be empty, really. AI scripts is for it. Whenever it makes an HTML, a Python, or anything, you can save it here, so it's not kind of messing with your other file folders or system or things. That way it has that, and again, this has root access, but again, I would just mess with what you know, and that's going to be in your home. So again, this consider that a whole folder just kind of a toss away. You can always replace it. Just back up your documentation, kind of anything that you're adding to it. Oh, and that was from the banking scripts I just ran. So as you see, there's nothing hidden in this. You guys can look at any file, download it, customize it, mess with it as much. You can add tools, do your own prompts. You can add more parameters. You can add more tabs. You can take away tabs. You can add more tools, take away tools. This is all functional. Use it as you will. So how you guys use it, what you do, it's up to you. This will always be free. This will always be open source. You can always download the main zip file from Zenodo and do a clean install if something's ever messed up. I did a walkthrough of how to load your models, which is just open your your Windows Olama normal, download your models through there, and then when you come over here, this auto loads them in, just like mine does mine. I don't know if this video will show it, or if it'll stop this and cover this up, but as you can see, I only have my two loaded, but you can download any of them, and I've tested all these on here and they all work. So all you have to do is make sure that you expose Olama to the network so the UI can pick it up. And as seen here, I have this set for 256 context window. And I have gone over a video showing my Docker settings and how to set up WSL2 and all that stuff. So, and how to get extra memory. And as you see, I do get a little lag when I kind of get up here and it starts, into the communications and coding and doing all that stuff. If it's really context, it's usually really good at sticking to it and not making errors, but again, it's still an AI and it can kind of go off the rails whenever it wants to. So use it how you will. This is free for everybody. All the tools are included. So the main purpose of this was for educational. So like if you wanted to learn, kind of basic PCB stuff, you can practice. This will guide you, tell you what you're doing wrong, kind of you get your outputs, kind of that stuff. So you can play around with it and there's no cost to you to get into it. So use it. All of these things can be used. Like I was saying with where is it? The game, change the city. There's a bunch of cities I included, so you can change the city. You can change kind of the sky. You can make it kind of an alien world, futuristic. Do whatever you want. Nothing else really needs to change. It's just the looks. Since it's already programmed, it's already put together. All you have to do, you can take kind of this stuff off, add your game rules, kind of take all these little windows off describing stuff, but you can do all that, set it up so you can connect to someone else or add some NPCs and you have a full game. So it's and you can kind of build different ones. And you don't really have to do anything but learn to look at the code and kind of look for the variables like a GLB file, which ones are referenced. So then you just change out the GLB file and you get a whole new different game. Same with the card game and stuff like that. You can do all these completely like this. So I hope everybody can use this. I'm going to try this I'm going to turn the mic off real quick and try the audio visualizer again and see if we can get this thing to work real quick. Okay, I'm going to have to restart it and see if that helps. I don't know why did this, but this is the first time this has ever happened, so I have to look at that, make sure that nothing got messed up or changed. Let me go to the actual file and see if that's the issue. Oh wait, I gotta go to. But I want. Which one do I want? I want that one. I'm gonna turn the mic off. That's a bug I'll fix before I release. I don't know what is going on, but I think it has to do with this microphone because that's the only thing that's changed for this. But I'll look at that. And this is kind of what you get, what you see. So I hope everybody enjoys. Again, if you catch any of these bugs or something like this, let me know in the comments of the videos. I do check the YouTube in those, so just click on it, send me a message. You can also send me a message on Zenodo, and I'll look into it or respond wherever I can. If it's on YouTube, I'll respond there. If it's on Zenodo, I'll kind of put a note in there to respond to it. So anybody sees anything, just let me know. And I hope everybody enjoys everything.